Hello, fourth graders. Mrs. Hinterliter here, bringing you your weekly reading comprehension skill. This week, we will be working on comparing and contrasting. So together, we're going to read about humpback whales and bowhead whales, and we'll be comparing and contrasting their different songs. So I'm going to scroll down in our story. Scientists think bowhead whale songs are similar to jazz music. You are going to pause the video and read this story to yourself. I'll scroll down to each of the different sections so that you're able to take your time and read them. And then when you're done reading to yourself or out loud to a family member, you can unpause the video, and together we'll work on completing a Venn diagram to compare our humpback whales and our bowhead whales. So I'm going to stop here so you can read the first part. When you're finished with the first part, you can unpause. You can pause again to read the second part. The third part. And the last part of our text. Now that you've read this story to yourself or to a family member at home, I'm going to read it to you aloud. So please listen again, and I want you to be thinking while I'm reading, what are the ways that the humpback and the bowhead whales are similar, and what are ways that they are different? Here we go. Washington, D.C. Some whales are jazzier than others. Scientists listened to the songs of bowhead whales. They compared the songs to jazz. Jazz music is always changing. Musicians make up new melodies as they go. It was the first time scientists listened to the songs of bowhead whales over several years. Bowhead whales are not very well known. They swim under the ice at the surface of the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic is the smallest ocean. Its center is near the North Pole. Bowheads can live to be 200 years old. They are almost 60 feet long, longer than an entire school bus. Scientists listened to the whale songs. The songs of bowhead whales are similar to jazz, they found. Humpbacks and bowheads have different singing styles. Bowhead whales are the jazz singers of the Arctic. You don't know what they're going to do, said Kate Stafford. Stafford studies oceans at the University of Washington. She is an expert on whale sounds. Stafford and other scientists record bowhead whale songs. They recorded them for 3 years. They heard 184 different songs. Stafford wrote a study about the songs. It came out on April 4th. There are probably only about 200 male bowheads in that Arctic area. Stafford and her coworkers think each male has a different song. The songs probably also change each season. Other types of whales sing songs. Male humpback whales sing the same song every winter, though, Stafford said. Scientists have many recordings of humpback songs. There are more humpback whales. That makes humpbacks easier to study. Stafford said humpback whales make long and fancy songs. The songs are ordered and predictable. Hitting the high notes. Scientists think only male bowheads sing. They sing to attract females. They try to create the best song they can. Stafford said the bowhead songs remind her of a jazz musician, Miles Davis. She said not everyone would like bowhead songs. Stafford thinks they are beautiful. Others compare them to fingernails on a chalkboard. They sound like screams and yells, she said. They're quite funny. The whales start with very high notes. Then they make them louder or softer. At times, they make 2 completely different sounds at the same time. Stafford said they do not know how whales do this. Humans cannot do that, she said. Some birds can, though. One of Stafford's favorites makes repeated sounds of woo, woo, woo. Stafford said bowheads can imitate the noises around them. They can make a sound that is just like the sound of ice cracking. They make the nuttiest songs, she said. All right, fourth graders, now that we are experts like Miss Stafford here, we are going to use our text to compare our different whales here. So you have access to the text. You can pause this video at any time and you can look back in the text to find your answers. So at this time, I'm going to pull up our Venn diagram. So here you'll see our title is Comparing and Contrasting Bowhead and Humpback Whales. In our first blue circle, we have bowhead whales. This information here is going to be strictly for the bowhead whales. What's unique about them? What's different about them? Over here, we have the humpback whales. Same thing. In this blue circle, it's going to be what is important and individualistic for our humpback whales. And in the middle, we have how are these whales the same? Okay, so you'll see down below, I have a couple suggestions that I found from the text. And you're going to help me move them to the right areas in our Venn diagram. Bowhead whales, humpback whales, or how they're the same. Now, you'll notice 2 of these are green, 2 of these are red, and 2 of these are purple. That means each one of those is going to go to a bowhead or a humpback. So one of these is going to go to one and one will go to the other. These orangish, goldish ones that you see at the bottom, those 4, they don't match with a partner, so to speak. So you're going to have to use those 4 and figure out where they go. Okay? So let's take a look at our first one. Our first one is green. In green says there are less of this type of whale. So go ahead, look back in your text if you need to, and you need to tell me which type of whale, bowhead or humpback, are there less of. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. You should have figured out that there are less bowhead whales according to our text. So that first green one is going to go with the bowhead whales. There are less of this type of whale. Then obviously, if there are less of this type of bowhead whales, what type of whale are there more of? We're going to copy this and we're going to put it under humpback whales because the text told us that there are more of that type of whale. I want you to try the rest on your own, so go ahead and pause the video here. I want you to try to place the 2 red ones, the 2 purple ones, and the 4 orange ones in the boxes where they go. I am giving you the heads up, not all areas are going to have the same amount. So you might have only a handful in one area and a lot more in the other. So take this time, pause the video, use your text, go back and look for the answers, and figure out where the rest of these ones will end up. When you're done, unpause the video and we'll go over them together. All right, welcome back. I hope that you were able to use the text to place these different facts about our whales. So the next one I have is these whales are easier to study. According to the text, humpback whales are easier to study because there are more of them, which means the harder type of whale to study would be your bowhead whales. All right, how are you doing so far? Let's look at our purple facts. Each whale has their own song. So this means they have their own unique song. Would that be my bowhead whales, my humpback whales, or are they the same? Well, if you looked back in the text, you would know that each bowhead whale has his own song that he sings, whereas the humpback whales all sing the same type of song. Okay? Now let's take a look at our 4 orange ones at the bottom. We'll start with this one here. This whale's songs are compared because they're similar to jazz music. If you looked back in the text or even read the title of our text, you would know that the songs that the bowhead whales make are similar or they are compared to jazz music. All right, let's look at our next one. These types of whales sing songs. Well, we know the bowhead whales sing songs and we know the humpback whales sing songs. So this one should go right in the middle. Both of these whales sing songs. The next one I have here is these whales can sing very high notes. When you look back in the text, you would see the paragraph that talks about the bowhead whales singing very high notes. And then the last one I have here is their songs change with the seasons. So the different types of songs that they sing change with the different type of seasons. And when you look back in the text, we have bowhead, humpback, and the same. They both change their songs with the seasons. How'd you do? Hopefully you were able to get all of those correct using the text that we read and you were able to look back. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Now, as our final special treat, let's listen to some of those bowhead whale songs. Get ready because they are funny. So I don't know, it's up to you. Do you think that they're beautiful songs like Miss Stafford from our text, or do you think they sound like nails on a chalkboard? I'll let you be the judge. Well, thank you, fourth graders, for joining me today for comparing and contrasting. Keep up the good work, and I'll talk to you next week.